Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today with my friend, Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David.
So, below 500 again. Just got up there. Just got up to 13 wins, 13 losses, and boom, right back down in that hole again. It's a little bit frustrating, but of course, Connor McDavid was out of the game, and that was a big factor. And people, of course, on Twitter were raging about it, that, what a terrible team the Oilers are without McDavid. But it was actually a fairly close game. The scoring chances were, I had them as 9 grade A chances for Dallas, 5 for the Oilers. That's a really low. That's why people were so mad, because there was such little offensive explosion from the Oilers. And I have to say that Dallas's grade A chances by hook, by crook, and by luck were absolutely explosive chances. Like they were like one of them was like 100% chance, and the other couple were 50% chances. Probably they were fantastic scoring chances, so or close to that. So Dallas had the really high quality scoring chances, and they deserved to win that game, and they did. Bruce, let's do our 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers. What is your good thing?
Well, I'm going to go with Jujhar Khaira. The good thing, the great thing, the beard. Man, has he got a beard. That second period intermission, you've got a good look at that beard. I'm amazed the Oilers ever lose. But seriously, he actually finally got off the schneid and tallied not only his first goal of the season, but his first goal in like 41 games. And he did it by, he's done something he's done a few times this year, go hard to the net. But this time he was actually able to follow up and actually contain and pot the rebound. Scored on his own rebound. Took a very nice feed from Draisaitl on the one-on-one. The give and go. And good on him. He had 3 shots, a couple of hits. I thought he was a reasonable factor, kind of moving around the lineup because of the absences.
Okay. Off the schneid. Here's the etymology, Bruce. It means getting off the schneid. It's an expression I hear almost exclusively in sports commentary to indicate a team has finally won a game after a protracted drought at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. Or a player who scored
What's the origin? He doesn't even have the answer. Mm-hmm. God, what's wrong with the internet, Bruce? Click on something and...
Lots, David.
I don't think I can do better than that for an answer right now. I'll keep looking. Oh, well. I thought Khaira, he worked his way up. He got some ice time with Draisaitl. It was his first, I heard them say it, on the first goal in 40 games.
Yeah.
And the Oilers have got too many guys, Bruce, in that category, wingers who just do not score. And that is that's killing them. My good thing. Leon Draisaitl, who set up Khaira's goal with a nice pass into the slot. He also had a good scoring chance shot himself. And I thought after kind of a slow start, which we'll get to in a second because it relates to my bad thing, by the second period, Draisaitl was going, and he was the Oilers' best player in the game, other than Koskinen, perhaps. And I just think I love him at center, Bruce. I think he's a center. He should be at center, leading his own line. The Oilers need him there. They're a better team. Just think if they rolled out Draisaitl and McDavid, that's the Oilers that I think have a chance to have some first line and second line scoring, and maybe they'll get lucky. Excuse me, with the other lines. Put RNH and Ratty back together. That was Ty Ratty. I know he's not a good thing, but he had another good game. He's really hustling. He's a smart player with the puck. I'd love to see that line reunited. But I just think Draisaitl he's capable. He's just this big horse with the puck, puck protecting it, pushing it up the ice, and thought he looked really good. As good as he's looked with McDavid, and he got a point. What does he have now, Bruce? Do you know how many points?
30 points in 27 games. So he's a third of the way to a 90-point season. I'm not sure if he gets to a 90-point season, how many of the critics that'll satisfy, because there seems to be a lot of harping about this player. But I'm with you in terms of how good he looked tonight, as when he is unquestionably the best player on his line. as he was tonight. Indeed, unquestionably the best player on the team, in my view, at least skater. Uh, then the play goes through him, the puck goes through his stick. He looks around, he picks out options. I noticed with McDavid, he passes to McDavid about 80% of the time, which is a smart play. But it's nice to see him choosing and using his other options as he did consistently, including the one option where he actually held the puck and shot on the 2-on-1, which was probably Oilers' best chance of the whole game.
Oh yeah, wasn't that it? That's the chance out that was earlier in the game. Just a great scoring chance opportunity that he got there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I didn't like, Bruce, my bad thing. Listen, Milan Lucic has 2 goals in 75 games. How? What?
Why?
There is no if, when, where, like on what planet, in what universe, in what, like in all the infinite versions of reality, if that's how these things work, does Milan Lucic actually succeed if he's put on a top line and on a power play? I think he could go through thousands and thousands of various universes, parallel universes, and none of them would Milan Lucic rebound. He's not going to rebound. And I don't know why experienced NHL coaches are making this mistake, but Hitchcock did it this game. He put him on that top line with Draisaitl. And as soon as I thought that, I thought, oh, Jesus, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I didn't tweet it out. Actually, I probably waited about 5 minutes before I actually waited one period. But it was the first thought in my head as soon as I saw that lineup. I thought, Hitch, didn't you watch? Haven't you been watching this player? I guess not, because he is not able to play in that role. He was, though, interestingly, able to play on that flat line. And they were keeping it even. They weren't getting scored on. And why break that up? You have a successful thing going. You need a goal. You know, you got to put Tyrati or Puljujärvi or, you know, I guess they didn't have Spooner, but someone, I don't know, Patrick Russell, but someone, Jujhar Khaira, who they decided on in the end. Well, he only 0 goals and coming into the game.
Yeah.
But Bruce, I don't know. Did you have the same thought, or is this just me? I just thought this is mad.
Yeah.
You missed so many.
Yeah, I mean, they finally found a spot where he's been, you know, neutral at least, and the line got scored on without him the first goal, and then they had a rare shift together, and Dallas hit on them for the second goal, and that was the killer. That was actually the first goal that they've given up as a trio in 7 games now, but they have never scored.
So, and that was a stinker goal against. All 5 players made, including Lucic, a flyby in the neutral zone there, which was. But you're right. Like they haven't been. That was the first time they had been scored on, and you know, when you look at chances with that line, all of those guys have really improved. Brodziak, Kassian, and Lucic, their plus minus on grade A chances has just gone right up since they've come together. They have created a lot of chances, and I think they would score. So I hope that Hitchcock learned the lesson there and just keeps them off. Like Tyrati and Puljujärvi were on the power play right at the end there, and they didn't get grade A chances, but they both got really good shots from the high slot, hard shots from the high slot. Get those guys out on the power play. Take off, you know, don't put Lucic out there.
Give him a shot on the first line.
Yeah. Put Ratty out there. He's done nothing but hustle his butt off every, you know, he only gets about 30 seconds a game, but stick him out there. All right, Bruce, you're a bad thing.
Well, I got a cornucopia of things to choose from. One of the things I considered was Oilers' bad luck, and losing McDavid. Obviously, that's a killer blow for, you know, your chances in any given game. And the 2 really fluky, perfect passes that Dallas made from 2 whiff shots. I particularly was impressed by the old exploding stick perfect across seam pass trick. I haven't seen that one for a while. That opened the scoring, where the guys tried to take a slap shot and his stick blew up and the puck went perfectly to the wide open goal scorer.
and it was like 100% chance. Like,
oh yeah, he
well,
wasn't going to miss it
it's
in
like
that.
95% chance.
Like if he passes that deliberately, Koskinen maybe gets over because he's good at playing the pass. But Koskinen had to respect. It's like a pitcher with the perfect changeup, where the batter is going by the motion and he gets fooled. And I mean that was just. I mean you can't blame the goalie on that in a million years. He had to respect the shot because the guy was shooting.
Koskinen
Anyway,
might have got over Bruce, like that save he made on the power play.
I mean he's pretty
Drew, was
capable.
his Drew Shore as the player? What a
Yeah,
like for
that was
sure kind of shot it at him a little bit. There was that aspect, but like I couldn't believe that wasn't a goal. That power play shot where Koskinen got across the net. I mean, on the replay, you see why it's not a goal in the replay, but I thought it was going to go in.
I was sure it was in the net. And then there was the bad of Zach Kassian, -2 on the first 2 goals, and then in the box for the third goal that basically put it beyond reach if it wasn't already for running Jamie Benn on a real sneaky, dirty play, and that he delivered. He earned his 2 minutes. Let's put it that way. And then he went and had a snit and got a 10-minute misconduct after that. And I just don't. On a night when you're short-staffed, you're down to 11 forwards. Let's help the team by sitting in the penalty box for the last 10 minutes of the third period. So is that. But I'm going to actually settle on my bad thing.
Bruce, you're stretching the bad
Peter
thing.
Chiarelli's wingers. Tonight we saw them in full flower with the 2 with McDavid out, Draisaitl and Nuge down the middle, and the wingers that the Oilers had tonight were Drake Caggiula, 13 goals last year, Jesse Puljujarvi, 12 last year, Jujhar Khaira, 11 last year. Who else we got on this list? Lucic 10 last year, Chiasson 9 last year, Kassian 7 last year, and Ratty 5. I think he had them, just all by memory, but I mean none of them even hit 15 goals. And
Patrick Russell had 20.
And it's all pop gun supporting staff. And I mean eventually, one of those guys did finally pound one in the net, so there's that. But I never really got the sense that the Oilers were threatening the inside ice. They're playing not bad, but they weren't ever getting penetrating into the.
Okay, and here gets to my number. My number. I know there was some bad luck on those goals against, but on all 3 of the first goals against the back-breaking goals, I thought a defenseman made a major blunder on every single play. And maybe you can defend Larson because but I don't think he should be. Okay, let's go to the first goal. What is Nurse doing behind the net? I mean, he started to move out to the front of the net. They're not going to score from there. There's already a defenseman down there. What is he doing? Like, that is just, as people said, this is Pee-wee. This is like Adam hockey. Guard the front of the net.
He was a hood ornament on that play. It was like he was out there with a new partner, Chris Weidman, and sure enough, Weidman did get burned on the play. The guy turned on him in the corner and made the centering pass. But where Nurse was, he couldn't defend a shot, a pass, a player, nothing. Like he was just in the middle of nowhere on the wrong side of the ice over on the right-hand side. And, of course, the goal scorer is all alone on the other side. Lucky how the broken stick, perfect cross-seam pass did happen to find his tape. But if he'd been covered, I mean, maybe, it wouldn't have been just quite the gift that it turned out to be. That was brutal coverage.
It could have just as easily been a pass if the he
was wide open.
Nurse was just out of he was totally out of position and behind the net. Like this, come on, play that. Like if you're going to play this zone defense, isn't that your zone is in front of the net? I really like the idea of. I think it suits the Oilers team to play kind of to zone, and okay. Then the next goal. Let's just go to.
Janmark makes the.
He
tries to shoot and he whiffs off the side of his stick.
Klefbom and Bronziak kind of collide a little bit. Klefbom, he gets beat essentially, and then Larson is attracted to the puck. And again, there was this play, but he should have been defending the pass anyway. And maybe he moved his stick. I don't know, but he's got to stop that cross seam. You can't allow that. And there was a play just earlier where Sagan had hit the crossbar. where the defenseman played it perfectly. Now you leave Sagan open, but that's a 30% scoring chance or a 25% scoring chance leaving Sagan to shoot, but it goes to 50% if you connect on that pass.
Yeah.
And Larson didn't do that. And then on the penalty kill, both Nuge allowed the pass down low, but Nurse again had wandered way up, was up on the boards, and Ben just cruised right in there. That was Nurse's man, and Nurse's way out.
He coughed the puck up originally, Nurse.
He coughed the puck up originally, and then he's out of position.
It came to him inside the zone, and he kind of woofed it, and then they never did regain control. It was a tough night for Darnell.
He's got to start playing better, Bruce. Like, he is not. This is maybe this is Darnell Nurse, man, but he's not.
Is the defense whisperer. Well, maybe he's sort of relearning his lines or something, because his game's been off for at least a month.
Yeah, I agree, Bruce. And he's been leaking grade A chances against. So have Larson and Klefbom in the last few weeks. And I'm just trying to wonder, like, are they getting used to a new coach and trying to figure things out and more ice time? But Chris Russell has all those things going on, and he's just killing it. Like, he's playing strong hockey. He's not getting beat. And so it's time for those guys. They're all veteran players now. They've got to be better in their own zone at least, because none of them are offensive killers. So get the job done. And this is mainly not so. It's least of all at Larson, more at Klefbom, but definitely directed at Nurse. He's got to play better. He's got to think. All right. What's your number?
I've got 65 and 5. And the 65 are the shot attempts by the Oilers. Comfortably more than Dallas's 52. They carried a large portions of the play. Shots on net were 29-25, because Edmonton was having some trouble getting their shots through and on target, but they were carrying the play. But out of the 65, only 5 were deemed by you grade A scoring chances. And that's a very weak percentage. You're shooting from the outside because you're not able to penetrate. And I think, Hudobin was pretty good, and he was busy towards the end of the game, had a few good moments, but sad fact that it's 2 goals in 2 games against a depleted Dallas defensive crew. He's their backup goalie, and they're missing 4 regular defensemen. They were last week and again tonight. 4 regulars, and the Oilers got 2 goals on them, 123 minutes.
And only 2 of those shots were really good chances, Bruce. When you like, so Draisaitl's 2-on-1 shot, which we already mentioned, was fantastic. Then Puljujarvi goes in. He risks the puck at net. It kind of bobbles around, and then I think from what I saw, it was he got the next one on net in tight.
Right.
And that looked like that was a pretty good shot, actually. Then the next one was Benning walked the line a little bit, put a point shot in that missed the net, and then hit a Dallas defender and deflected right back at the goalie and could have easily gone in. So that's the third. And then the next 2 come on Kara's scoring sequence, when his backhanding shot is a good scoring chance, and then he puts in the rebound, which was a great scoring, a rebound shot. So there was 2, I thought, only 2 real threatening shots, super threatening shots, put it that way. And then Ratty and Puljujarvi had a couple grade B chances near the end, but I guess if this was the Dallas Aikens era, people would be saying, well, we won the Corsi tonight, and
yeah,
good for us.
Well, I track it. I mean, that's one stat, but it's like, to me, it's like looking at a set of football stats and saying, well, this team had more yards of offense than the other team. Well, that tells you something about the game, but it doesn't tell you everything about the game, right?
Yeah,
it gives you some sort of sense as to who controlled the ball for longer stretches, but it doesn't always account for the big plays, right? And in football, they're called touchdowns. In hockey, they're called goals against.
At least with the Oilers, they're called goals against. No, that's too harsh. The Oilers have been playing fine. And a few people have been making the point on Twitter, like, okay, you can't win every game.
Oh, well, no, this is true.
And the Oilers weren't terrible in this game. They were okay. They fought hard. They grounded out, and they had some bad bounces, as you you pointed out
It's so
yourself. So,
much a game of random
isn't
luck.
it?
It seems like 30 wins and 30 losses a year are sort of preordained, and then it's what you can do out there in the margins. I think Casey Stengel had a line about that. In hockey, it's even more so. It's that if you get the, you know, and the Oilers did get some balance. I mean, Dallas rang the iron at least twice. With
Yes, they
two
hit the
shots.
post. Sagan's shot.
Sagan and that whoever fired that rocket from the blue line that hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
That was that was a sweet shot as well. So anyway,
Do you think we'll see Weidman again, Bruce? I mean,
well,
he's not made a good first impression or good second impression now.
yeah, he got owned pretty good on the first goals. 2 games that he's played for the Oilers, and both times he's just been absolutely destroyed on the first goal of the game. And both games they lost in regulation, and all the other games that he hasn't played in lately, they've won. Or at least got a point. Hitchcock's only had two regulation losses, and they were the 2 that Weidman played.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We didn't even see him on the power play. Where their power plays. I mean,
well, yeah,
1 or 2.
3 in the end. The refs kind of gave.
Oh, that's right. Right at the end to make it look
the
good.
Regulation when the game was out of reach.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that alone.
Successfully, as soon as I made it 3-0, I said to my wife, "Watch the Oilers get 2 power plays in the last 5 minutes of the game." I swear, that's exactly what I said to her. One was puck over glass, of course. Any ref would call that. And the other one was one that they wouldn't call 99 times out of 100, but with 30 seconds left in a 3-goal game. Thanks for the power play there, guys. That's really helpful.
All right, let's leave it there, Bruce. Are you doing the game grades?
Grumble. I am doing the game grades, and I'm just barely getting started, but I think I may be a little bit on the terse side tonight.
There's always a time for terseness, and sometimes one-liners.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of, I mean, most of it was just slogging it out in the trenches, right?
Yeah.
So, and the Oilers had, I will give a +1 to Matt Benning for crushing Jamie Benn, who was a pain in the ass the entire game for Dallas. And Benning stepped up and really cranked him with a clean hit. So that's a plus. Did
you notice that play? I think it was probably about halfway through the second period. Chris Russell's taking the puck up the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben starts to angle him to the boards, and Russell dumps it in the Oilers, Dallas end. Ben could have unloaded on him, and he didn't. He just kind of held up. And I wonder if it's because they were teammates. That was a thought that crossed my mind, because Ben does like to hit guys, and he could have hit Russell, but he didn't. And I just thought, maybe
Alex Chason and Jason Spezza were teammates too, though, eh? So
depends on depends on if you like the guy or not.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the Caroline Cowboy. Everybody likes him except for 70% of lunatic Oiler fans.
Well, he's not the biggest problem we got.
The 30%, the other 30% of the loons like him.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm in the 30%. I don't love him, but I don't think he's terrible. I think he does,
I don't love him either, but although I have been liking him more recently, because as these other D-men have really struggled, Russell hasn't. He's been his play has been, he's been their best defenseman the last couple of weeks, and that's saying something. I think it's not. I mean, not everyone's going to agree with that. Is what it's saying.
Something about the other defenseman, maybe.
Yeah,
but he's
what it's saying.
He's cut the mistakes down to very few, and
yes.
And making solid plays. I mean, he always makes some solid plays every game. He is the vet. After all, the wily vet. So,
would you compare him to, Bruce, like players from the past?
Well, he's in the same club at the present. He's in the Dan Girardi School of Defensemen, and that's the analytics community just hates this entire class of defensemen. Andy McDonald, Roman Polak. Seems like there's one on every team that the coach loves, and the those who analyze the game don't. And I have some, as an old goalie, I kind of have a soft spot for the depth defense first defender, but
Maybe he'd be like in the old Oilers days, like Lee Fogelin or Craig Muni. Imagine going through the 80s, listening to the like if there were analytics peoples in the 80s, going through the 80s, hearing them every game ragging on Lee Fogelin or Craig Muni. That's what kind of comes to mind. Like these players in the past were just like, it's the old defenseman. No one even thought about them, right? But because a certain set of numbers apparently says something, indicates something about them. I think it influences a lot of people, because I just think if you just watch these players, they don't stand out as anything much, and not enough, and certainly not as these objects of scorn and ridicule. Anyway, perhaps a topic for another day.
Well, it's a topic for every day in oil country.
All right. Thanks for talking, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.